Hey everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. I really appreciate your views and for being with me today. It's been a few days since I've been on, so I wanted to jump on and do some tarot card reading. I want to take a look at November through January, and then I'm going to take a look at the Giuliani situation with the whole maybe a new Russian contact. And let's see if I have time after that. We'll maybe look at Amy Coney Barrett again. So I'm going to start out with looking at November, December. Well, let's see. We still have a couple weeks in October, right? So I want to do a little October, November, December, January. We want to know what's going to go on through the end of January, right? All right. So I know time isn't Spirit's favorite subject. But yeah, I'm looking at through the end of January. Let's ask about through the end of January, month by month. Starting with the end of October, November, December, and then January, Spirit. Let's see what's going to happen. All right, let's take a look-see. October. Ooh. November. December. January. Oh, what a nice happy ending. All right, I'm just going to move these up. I know you guys can't see all of them. But, so let's start out with the rest of this month. We've got, about just under 2 weeks left of October. And for the rest of October, we're looking at the 10 of Swords, the 2 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, and Justice. So what the rest of just this month right here is going to be bringing us is a downfall, juggling some money right here, and justice. So what this is telling me, viewers, for the rest of, it looks like October, this month right here, it's going to be the month when this downfall takes place. I'm not saying this is the day that Trump walks out of the office, but I think we know this is the end of something, okay? This is the end. And it might not necessarily have to be with Trump. My mind is wanting to go to Amy Coney Barrett because that's due to happen this month. What we're looking at here is the end of something, a downfall. And yeah, maybe there's some juggling taking place. People are trying to still manipulate the ends here, but ultimately justice is coming to call. So considering we have the Justice card, yes, I think the end of this month is going to wrap up. My readings on Amy Coney Barrett so far have shown that she gets so close but doesn't quite make it onto the Supreme Court. That's hard for me because we lived through Kavanaugh, right? We saw him get on the bench regardless of the testimony that was given against him, regardless of how hard the Democrats fought to prevent that from happening, and he still got on, right? So there's a part of me that's like, of course Amy is going to get on the bench. She's nowhere near as controversial as far as, assault. Yeah, I know she's got the religious thing going on, but this is telling me for something this month, it's an end. It's coming to an end. It's a downfall. It's not going to happen regardless of the machinations that are taking place there. Justice will win out on the end. So for the end of this month, we can look for some justice. And this could be any number of situations here, but given that we're dealing with this Supreme Court nominee, I think this is going to support my previous readings that it's not going to happen. So November, next month, election month, we are looking at the Chariot, the King of Wands, and the World. Chariot, King of Wands, and the World. You know where I'm going right here? Coronavirus. We're starting that surge, right? Coronavirus is roaring in to beat us back again. Coronavirus and that third wave is it's going to make itself really known in November. And what this King of Wands is telling us, we got to organize, or I should say the administration, the coronavirus task force, the powers that be that have the power to do something about this, including the House and the Senate. These people need to start going to work right here. They need to start going to work. And I think that work is including the stimulus package, right? Nancy Pelosi just was on the news today, gave the White House 48 hours to negotiate. Not 100% sure what that story is going on about here, but coronavirus is with us. These people need to start working, taking this seriously, not only on stimulus, but also on how we're going to battle this disease, right? So we can subdue it and move on with our lives and move on with our economies. And it's ending in the world. So this is this world card is a big transition. This is a huge cycle is coming to an end, and an equally huge cycle is beginning, one that affects the entire world. So I think what's happening here, this is pointing to the change in presidential administration, which is going to implement a new coronavirus policy. That disease is not going to go away until we actually address it with concrete steps and follow through. Everyone has to wear their masks. Everyone has to socially distance. We need to kind of buckle down here. And this is pointing to the legislators having to do that. But come November and a new presidential administration and new initiatives, new ways of fighting this disease, this is going to be a big change for all of us, nationwide and globally as well, because Biden has a chance to be a global leader here. A global leader for coronavirus, the best way to fight it. A lot of other nations are doing a lot better than us right now. But this is a new beginning for us to impact the world. Okay, so that's November. Let's take a look. I'll bring you back down for a second. Let's take a look at December. So with December, election's over. I'm going to say Biden done won. We're looking at the Hierophant, the King of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. So here we have a government. So with the Biden administration, we're going back to the more traditional types of governments or administrations that we're used to, one with ethics and one that works for the people, one that passes laws and basically, is the executive branch who works, who does their jobs. We're starting out the month of December like this, which is interesting because, as you know, here's Mr. Trump here. He's still in power. And with the Four of Pentacles, this tells me that he's in protective mode. So he lost the election. He's a lame duck president, and he's going to focus for the month of December on self-protection. He's going to be trying to tighten up his money situation, tighten up his document situation, just sort of clamp down where he can, bring his people, his circle, his cadre close to him, and reinforce himself. So for December, having lost the election, he is going to be hunkering down, self-protective mode, battening the hatches kind of thing. So for January, interesting here, we're looking at the Two of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Swords, big decision. Queen of Pentacles, looking at that money, and the Ten of Cups. Happy voters. So what I'm seeing here for January is interesting because this is an important, huge decision that's going to have to be made here. Interesting. Where my thoughts are going here is that the Biden and Harris administration is going to have to decide how they want to move forward with Trump, right? Are they going to go after him, or are they going to are they going to do the move on route, right? Oh, we're just going to move on. My feeling is that Biden doesn't want to make a hands-on approach here. He doesn't want to be hands-on. He kind of wants to let the courts go through their motions with all of the investigation, the cases in the courts, right? All the intelligence agencies have their investigations that are going. The courts have their cases that are going. And I see, or I feel that Biden, initially his perspective is going to be just let those things unfold as they will. But I don't think it's going to be that easy for him. He's going to have to make some critical decisions. How far are we going to pursue justice? How far does he want to continue to focus on Trump, have Trump's energy in the picture, focus on all the bad dealings that he's done versus, trying to move the nation forward? This is going to be, he's going to have to make some key decisions here. And with the Queen of Pentacles, this is those feelings of worry that accompany that. How's this going to be for the nation? How's this going to impact the government's, resources and budgets? How is this dealing with the economy? Can we move forward with the economy? There's a lot of worry because, questions like that, decisions this big, there's no right or wrong. Sometimes you just have, you have to make that list of pros and cons and which one weighs itself out better, which one is better for the nation, which one brings us closer to justice. There's a lot of worrying around that, and that's what this is showing us. And this card for me is also bringing in Kamala. He's not going to be doing this himself. He's going to be doing this in partnership with her. And I think I've already said in other readings that I think she's going to have a really strong view on these matters. With the last card, though, we have the Ten of Cups. And this indicates that whatever it is, they're going to be making either the right decision with this question, or by the end of January, something's happening where the nation is starting to feel uplifted again. This is that community joy, the happy voter. There's happiness again. There's hope and optimism again. By the end of January, you couldn't really end with a better card than the Ten of Cups. And this is telling us that we're looking down the path to a bright future where all this darkness, all this sort of malintent, all these financial shenanigans, all this kind of garbage, to a large extent is going to be behind us by the end of January. we're looking at happy voters here. Voters are going to be happy with the new administration, happy with this new coronavirus response that's starting a new cycle, happy, hopefully, with the decision to pursue justice to the fullest extent of the law, like it is pursued for everybody else, right? Maybe there's some other changes in our initiatives that Biden-Harris have that are going to make a lot of people really happy. So that's what I'm seeing for now till the end of January. And you know what I love about this is we're for our outcomes here, just to go through some of these outcomes here. Justice is knocking on our door by the end of this month. By the end of next month, a huge cycle is ended and we're on to a new beginning. You know, the month after that, you know, the former administration is going to be hunkering down, preparing for their battles. But all in all, at the very end of it all, by the end of January, we're going to be a happy lot, or at least a lot happier than we've been. So I think that I'm going to call that some good news. Yeah. All right. So I said I wanted to take a look at Giuliani. Giuliani. He just doesn't stop getting himself in trouble, does he? So now the story is out that he was a target of Russian disinformation, right? They wanted him, at minimum, to spread their Russian propaganda. Russian disinformation. Rudy Giuliani. So let's take a look at what is he doing now? Rudy Giuliani, what are you up to? Spirit, can you bring us to Rudy Giuliani? What is he in trouble with now? What is he doing now? Is he a target of Russian agents of Russia? You know, it's interesting, this word target. It doesn't exactly indicate willingness, right? Can you be a willing target? Or are you an unwilling target or just an unaware target? You know, I'm sure if Giuliani would declare, you know, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what? I feel like it's got to be willing at this point. He's had enough warning, right? With Ukraine and the whole Mueller-Russian saga. Can't be that oblivious, right? Can't be that oblivious. So let's take a look at what Giuliani's up to. Giuliani. Okay, let's bring it down. I'm going to do a what the actual fudge spread here. So, what the actual fudge? Question mark, exclamation point. So we're starting out with Judgment and the King of Swords right here. So what this is telling me right here is the law is coming down on Giuliani. Investigation, FBI, CIA, what have you. And this is intelligence and the law right here. They are coming for Giuliani. Judgment is knocking at his door. All right. He's about to be judged. So he is on edge. Ooh, he's on the edge right now. He's in a tight spot. He's in a tight spot. So what's actual about this? Ace of Swords. So this is telling me this is the beginning of a whole new drama, a whole new thread of intelligence, a whole new story, you know, a whole new, basically a story. So this is a new can of worms right here. Something new, and it's big, and it's new. It's not something we've heard before. Yeah, we know about the Russia thing. We know Giuliani's kind of dirty. But this is going to be a new story for us right here. That sort of truth is showing us something new is beginning. This whole new thing is about to get started. What's wrong with the situation with the Knight of Cups right here? What's wrong with this situation? It looks like somebody's going to try to come to Mr. Giuliani's rescue. Someone is going to try to come with a healing balm, with some kind words, with an offer or a gift. This knight coming to the rescue here to try and rescue Mr. Giuliani. That's what's wrong with this situation. So that tells us this is fishy, this is phony, this is false. Whoever's gonna ride their white horse in with Rudy's either alibi or his contact, or the go-between of whatever relationship, that person who's going to be like, oh no, it was all good, Rudy was great. That is what's wrong. That's telling us this is where we need to know something's going on here. It's not on the up and up. It's not going to be truthful. This is a problem. This needs our focus. So for the question mark, which is, where do we need to go for more information? We need to look to the magician. So the magician is the one who made this happen. The magician is the one who connected the dots, who made the appointments, who made the introduction, who moved the funds. The magician is the one who wove their magic and created this situation into being right here. But in a very practical way. This, the planner, the intermediary, the partner. So whoever is that direct connection to Giuliani is the one that we need to look at closer to get more information. That totally makes sense, right? So Giuliani wasn't the manipulator. He wasn't the manifester of this situation. Obviously, they're saying he was targeted by Russia. So this is telling us then we need to look towards who in Russia or Ukraine or in that region was pulling these strings to drag Rudy in to that scheme. Okay, so that person is going to have additional connections moving on up the chain. So that's where we need to go. Who made the magic happen? And for the exclamation point, what action needs to be taken here? We have the Seven of Pentacles, which is telling us to review, look at what's been growing. This is you reap what you sow. So for what we need to do, we need to keep looking. We need to keep digging. We need to look at the data, look at the documents, interview, the witnesses or what have you. Whatever law enforcement or whatever agencies are going to do, they have to take a look at it. That's really all it's saying. So, again, that kind of makes sense. That's what an investigation is, right? It reviews and learns and tries to piece together whatever scheme is going on here. What this card is also specifying is follow the money. Look at the money. Where did the money come from? Where did the money grow? Who brought the coin to the party? So follow the money, and you're going to find out what's going on with Rudy Giuliani. But by this reading's reckoning, judgment's on his door right here, and the law the law is knocking. So I think I've got a few more minutes. You know, let me take a look again at Amy Coney Barrett. You know, just like I said a few minutes ago, it's hard to imagine her not getting on the Supreme Court because they got Kavanaugh in, for Christ's sake. And he was very concerning. And that situation showed us the lengths to what the Senate would go to override the will of the opposing party, the will of women voters, the will of all voters, what they're willing to do to the Supreme Court in order to, you know, continue their agenda. So this is a quick C reading. Amy Coney Barrett. Amy Coney Barrett. How much closer is she to the Supreme Court? Is she going to be approved and seated? Is she going to be approved and seated? Let's do a little quick read on her. Amy Coney Barrett, will she be seated? I've heard a few readers talking about maybe something will come out on her at the last minute and she might have to walk. I have done a couple readings where it seemed like maybe there was some sort of financial thing going on there. Like maybe, you know, she got paid to sit through this process, or, you know, someone has some leverage over her because of some financial information. There's some kind of money was changing hands. So, and that happened at least twice. So I do want to feel like my readings support that a little, but we're getting down to the wire, and looks like she's going to be seated. So let's take a look, Spirit. Amy Coney Barrett, will she be, well, I'm just going to skip through approved and go right to seated. Will she be seated on the bench? Will she be seated on this bench? All right, let's see. Well, what we're looking at here is that foundational, stable institution of government, and in this case, the judiciary, the Senate, right? These are all those government institutions that provide the very foundation for this nation. So they're right here in the forefront. So we'll say, yes, this is the governmental process of the Senate reviewing a judicial nominee. This is what's happening. What's challenging the process, though, is this upside down hanged man. This upside down hangman. So normally this would be a pause. The hangman indicates a stop, a pause, a need to reassess, a need to reassess. This hangman is upside down. So the question is it upside down because the wait is over? Or is it upside down because this nominee, it just fell through? With the outcome, we have the Four of Cups, dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction. So that indicates to me the negative. You know, obviously the Senate would be very pleased if the wait were over and Amy took her seat. But, you know, this is just, they're not happy with their choices. They're dissatisfied. Nothing's really fulfilling. So the feeling I'm getting off of this is it falls through. It falls through. Yeah, it was on hold. They were debating. They're asking their questions. They're going to have a vote. When it comes to being seated, I feel like something falls through. The weight just This would have been followed by a positive card, like a victory card, then I'd say, yeah, the wait's over, she's on. But it's followed by the card of dissatisfaction, of not liking your choices, of just, it's almost like your cup fell over, you know, and what you thought you had, you don't have anymore. So I'm gonna, again, I say the cards are telling me she's not gonna get seated. Something's gonna fall through. Something's gonna fall through. It might be those votes. McConnell just might not have the votes to make that happen. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing for now. But anyways, viewers, I'm so grateful that you joined me again today. I'll be back again with you shortly with another reading on some topical issues. Thanks again for subscribing, like, share, do your thing out there, and take care of yourself. And again, I appreciate your views. You take care and have a great day, okay? Bye now.